We live in a very confusing sexual culture. A culture where sex toys, pornography, sex games, sex parties are all under the carpet. And on the other side, we have the word silence. You see, our culture gives no room for you to talk about sex. You can talk about sex, you can ask about sex, you just can't talk about it. Yet, this same culture promotes silence. Who exactly is really silent about the sex? So who are those people who go about watching pornography, masturbating, sex games, sex videos, sex parties? If and when this same culture says shh to sex, who exactly are we deceiving? Our culture believes so much that you can't ask questions, you can't talk about it. When you talk about it, you come out as a soul spice. They see you as, a non-kingdom worth person, a woman or a girl who is not a child of God, someone who is not a believer, someone who would definitely not enter heaven, who does not belong to the kingdom society, just because someone like me is open about sex. But then, even though we say silence on sex, even though we say shh, even though we say the word femme on sex, a lot of us live our sexual life. This is so bad that we live a fantasy life rather than live it in reality. We have nothing to show for it. Culture, where you can't say how you want to be fucked, where you want to be fucked, when you want to be fucked, just because you live in a society that sex is supposed to be silent. You live in a society where you just can't say what you want, even to your husband, when you want it and how you want it. You can't say, you know what, I want you to finger me, I want you to fuck me from behind, grab my hair or pull my hair and give it to me. I want you to choke and fuck me. I want you to give me hair and finger me at the same time. When you do that, with this culture that we live in, you are termed as a prostitute, a shameless woman. Probably you're even sleeping around. Who is teaching you? That is our culture. A culture where a woman can't ask for sex. She only gets sex only when her husband wants it. When the man is horny, but when she's horny, it means nothing to her. That is our culture. A culture where you don't ask for sexual positions. You lay down the way your husband says. Majorly missionary. A culture where the man believes that, you know what, my wife is not fit for sex, my wife is not sexual enough, or my wife is not creative or adventurous enough. Rather, he goes out to get it from a side chick, and then he turns her up and down, hanging on the chandelier, hanging on the table, laying her on the floor, hanging her on the stool, while he feels his wife is not worth it, or his wife can't do it, or his wife shouldn't be doing such a thing, or his wife is his wife. A culture that believes that side chick is no other person's wife but a side chick. A culture that has made women into nothing when it comes to sex. A culture that has given men power when you talk about sex. A culture that makes men believe that, you know what, sex is for men and men only, and women just shh when you say sex. Culture that has made our children, rather than come out to ask questions, stay behind doors to masturbate, stay behind doors to pick phones, go on social media to watch porn, stay behind doors to molest themselves, or even get molested and enjoy without saying a word. A culture where a mother cannot speak out or shout out about her child being molested. A culture where a woman gets raped or a man gets raped and you just can't talk because people will ask you questions. What were you wearing? Why were you there? What did you do there? Why did you go there? Who did you tell? What did you do that made him rape you? A culture that has no shame. A culture that is biased. A culture that was built for around. And with me, a culture that sees women as second to none. Women are always on the receiving side when it comes to sex. A culture that does not believe that a woman can dress up and tell her man that, hey guy, come fuck me the way I want it. No, that's not our culture. For how long are we going to keep living this kind of culture? For how long are we going to keep deceiving ourselves, yet our kids are doing worse? You go on social media now, you see everybody opening their asshole, opening their bum, opening their boobs. They just don't care about family anymore. Yet we live in a culture where sex is supposed to be silent. A culture where religion believes that when people like me come out to talk about sex, I am not a child of God. I am not godly. I don't deserve to walk in church. I don't deserve to be a worker or to be a teacher or to be connected to certain people in church. A culture where religion believes that masturbation is bad, masturbation is terrible, yet these same pastors, these same religious people go to masturbate when they go for IVF, then it's no bad. A culture that believes that, you know what, you sell sex toys, it's not a kingdom-based business. You are doing a business that has to do with the world. You live your life around the world. And so those bankers who take too much interest, those bankers who take up what you have because you can't pay up your money immediately, those bankers who steal money from you, 1 naira, 2 naira from every account without us knowing, do business of God. A culture that is fucked. A culture that has nothing to offer. A culture that would never teach sex. Rather, let everybody get fucked without saying a word. A culture that keeps deceiving, breaking, stabbing, and killing people. A culture that kills our sexual desires. Women can't even say what they want anymore. A culture that says a woman who sleeps around as a prostitute, but a man who sleeps around as a main guy. A culture that says when your husband cheats, you can't walk away, you just have to forgive him and take it. But when a woman cheats, they pack her things back to her father's house because what? She's a disgrace. A culture that says, you know what, no matter the domestic violence, just stay and pray and fast. Maybe he will change. Maybe she will change. A culture that tells you that even though you have complications and it's time for CS, they tell you, no, you can't do CS, just keep praying and fasting until you die. Our culture is fucked. And it keeps getting fucked every day. If it's going to take me 100 years, if it's going to take me 10 years, if it's going to take me 2 years to change the face of sex in Africa, I'm ready. I'm not bothered about this culture. I don't care about the culture. I don't care about anyone. I care about my children's future. I care about my children knowing about sex and understanding what real sex is. That is all I'm bothered about. I am your one and only Soul Spice, the sex goddess. Do have a sister day till I come your way next time. Love you all. Bye for now.